Uh, so this book is about getting into the basics of contracts and procurement, and it is meant for two kinds of people. One is the students who are passionate about the subject, who are just getting into learning this subject and who would like to explore more. So it gives them an idea of what procurement and contracts is all about. And the second is young entrepreneurs who have probably just started on their entrepreneurial journey, who need to have an idea of what contracts is all about. So book is all about that. Right, so that's a good question which I've always been thinking of for some time. When I started off in my career early, there were a lot of literature that is available on the deeper aspects of law, contracts and stuff like that. But every time I had this challenge that when you get into the deeper aspects of law, a lot of jargons come up and then we are not very clear what these subjects are all about. That's when I thought, after having learned a lot of things over the past 20 years that I've worked on the subject, I felt that for early people who are in the early phase of their career, they need something which is at a very broad level, not involving too many jargons, and to keep it very crisp. That's what prompted me to write this book. And the purpose is, yes, for those who are passionate about the subject, they can dig deeper, they can read more about it, depending on what aspect they want to elaborate, they can still choose to read further. So yes, the purpose for me to write this book is for those who are starting off in their career, especially in the field of contracts and procurement, and also for young entrepreneurs. They need to have something at a very basic level to give an idea, but covering most of the important aspects. And should they wish to dig deeper, yes, there's a lot of material available, published on the website, and a lot of books available on that. So the reason for writing this was basically to get the younger audience to get thinking and sort of get interested in the subject. Okay, so there are two categories of target readers that I probably have in mind. One is, as I mentioned, the students in the field of contracts and procurement. When I say students, they need not be contracts and procurement students. They could be engineers, people engineering students, commerce students who have an interest in the field of contracts. So that is one category. The second is young entrepreneurs. So the reason why I mention young entrepreneurs is any young entrepreneur who's starting off on a new journey, they would probably need to focus a lot of their time on their own service or product what they're offering as part of their venture. But having said that, they need to have an understanding of what contracts is all about, because day in day out they would also be getting into contracts. They need to understand the basics, they need to get a hang of what the contract is all about, and then depending on an area where they would need further advice or a deeper advice, they can reach out to legal professionals or technical professionals depending on what they want to get. So to conclude, there are two types. One is students who are getting into the field, who are passionate about the subject, and second is young entrepreneurs who are starting off on their entrepreneurial journey. So these are the two kinds of target readers which I feel, or for whom I have written the book. Okay, so the book title is Construction Contracts Demystified. During my interactions as a professional with the various people, right from my early stages of when I started working right up to until this point in time, I have observed that when it comes to the field of contracts, people have this notion that contracts is something like, it's something very legal, very complex, and very difficult thing to understand. And they always say, this is something which my legal team will take care of, this is something which somebody else will take, some other higher authority will take care. Which is okay, because a specialized subject, everybody has their own specializations, and definitely the legal team and the professionals have their own role to play. But having said that, each of us as individuals, as professionals, need to understand our own contracts in whatever field that we work. So the purpose of this book is to simplify it, or the way to put it is demystify it, so that whoever wants to read the book has a better understanding, has a clearer understanding of their contracts. And by demystifying, what I mean is it's not like a monster to be looked at. A contract is something which is should be your friend when you conduct business, and for that purpose, yes, this book intends to demystify contracts using construction contracts as a like an example. Okay, so depending on the readers, they can have multiple takeaways, but I would suggest there will be at least three key takeaways from this book for those who are starting off. One is the availability of standard forms of contract globally. So for those who, if you don't know, or those who are new to the subject, you don't have to invent your contracts from scratch. There are a lot of standard forms of contracts, especially from the construction field, which can also be used probably in other fields of business. So standard forms of contract used within India and across the globe. That is one takeaway you can get. It's a ready reckoner you can use, and of course you can dig deeper to understand more about each of these forms. The second form of contract is, the second is the types of legal entities that are in existence in business, primarily in India as well as in major countries across the globe. So there are different types of legal entities. When I say legal entities, it means private limited company, limited companies, LLPs, and so on and so forth. Of course, your finance and chartered accountants will be able to explain more. But the point that we're trying to cover in this book is the different types of legal entities come with their own risks and opportunities. So this is something which can be used as a ready reckoner based on the information that is available at this point in time. And third one, which I would say is I've used the FIDIC Red Book 1999 as a sample to explain a typical construction contract. So there are about 20 clauses, and each of these clauses have been explained with some examples for a better understanding of the reader. So this is something which could give a holistic understanding of what a contract is, which can further be extrapolated to other fields of business, related business, or even other industries. So yes, I think these are the three key takeaways, apart from some other standard forms and all which have been given in the book itself. But yeah, these three takeaways could be something which the reader can look forward to. Ideally, yes, if the reader can devote some time and read it right, starting from chapter 1. In fact, I would say start from the introduction to get a sense of the context in which the book was written, and then follow through from chapter 1 through to chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then of course the conclusion. That would be ideal. But having said that, if some of the readers may have knowledge on some of the aspects covered in some of the earlier chapters, in which case the book is written in such a way that even if you pick up any random chapter in between and read, it should also be a value addition to the reader. So strictly, yes, preferably you go linear, but there is no such requirement. You can pick up any. For example, I'll tell you, if you read chapter 5, it's a chapter in itself. So you can just understand the chapter 5, the legal entities which are there in the book, which has no necessity of you reading the first 4 chapters. But if you read the first 4 chapters, you understand what the relevance is of the chapter 5. But yeah, you can pick and choose the way you want your comfort. So within the book, at the end of each chapter or as you go along, there are various steps that are recommended, or I would say as a reader, these are all call to action. So I would recommend the readers to, after reading each section of the chapter, to look at their contracts and see how it compares with what is mentioned in the book. This would give a better perspective for the readers as well. And yes, if there's some feedback that the readers would want to share with the author, you're more than welcome to share that. That is one as a call for action, which is mentioned in the books. Apart from that, yes, if the readers would like to have further discussion on the subject or further engagement on the subject in terms of conducting trainings on specific topics that interest them, or consulting opportunities where you want the author to be part of some sort of organizational development or training program, or any such event which will help the individual or the reader to take their business or their department or their function to a next level within the realm of contracts and procurement. Yes, that could be the next step. So the contact details of the author are mentioned within the book, and for further details you can reach out to me here. Okay, my name is Manish Mohandas. I'm by qualification is civil engineer. Uh, I have been practicing hardcore construction throughout my career in various forms, which is for those who are from the construction industry, yes, you would be aware, it is into real estate buildings such as commercial buildings, residential buildings, the related infrastructure projects such as the tunnels, bridges, roads, and all this across the span of my career. I have the opportunity, and thanks to all the companies and all the colleagues that I work with, and these opportunities have been in various places like the United Arab Emirates, which is Dubai and Abu Dhabi, in Maldives, in Sri Lanka, Colombo, and of course in multiple places in India such as Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, and so forth. Apart from that, yes, a few opportunities in East India, which is in Kolkata. So with all this, that is where I have been groomed as a project management professional, and that's where I understood the value of contracts management as a key important ingredient of project management. So to put it short, yes, I'm a project management professional with a passion for contracts management. Professionally, personally, yes, I'm a civil engineer, and we most of our personal life is work towards work, so that's where I'll keep it to.